Now, I want to talk to you about renewable energy and the energy debate. This is all, of course, driven by climate policy. Fascinating story I had last night with local crayfish fishermen arcing up about offshore wind projects. With the amount of investment and faith that Chris Bowen and the government want to put into offshore wind, surely we're expecting these sorts of battles on environmental and aesthetic grounds to happen right around the country, because these projects are not necessarily going to be welcomed in too many places.
They're not small, and they're not going to be welcomed where we try to put them. I think this is the lesson from everywhere in the world. And I think there should be a bit of a sort of danger sign over this view that offshore wind is going to solve all our problems, both environmentally and financially. The experience in other places has been, gee, they cost a lot more than you thought they were going to cost, and they suffer the same problems as all other weather-dependent energy sources, that they only work when the weather's doing the right thing. It's interesting that the whole notion that there's a free lunch here, the environmental impact from renewable projects, particularly ones at such a large scale, is something that's going to have to be confronted.
Yeah, the thing is, the argument they make is that there's more wind over the ocean. That is true, but you still don't have wind all the time you need it. They are more expensive, of course, to install them offshore, and therefore it makes the economics questionable. And I think you're still going to get these objections, and the transmission arguments across the country are going to be massive as well. It intrigues me, Graham, that while we're going through all this, China is approving 2 new coal-fired power stations a week, I read this week.
That's right. Look, Xi Jinping has been very clear on this. We are going to use the stuff that works to get us through to the other side, where we've worked out how to do it another way. He's quite prepared to install a lot of renewable capacity, and certainly to sell all the renewable energy facilities and hardware to the rest of the world. But he's made no bones about the fact that China is all in on coal until they've really sorted out how they're going to maintain their industrial production through some new system. And as you've referred to earlier in the show, nuclear is high on the list.
Yeah, it's just the reality, and we seem to be pretending in this country that's not happening. Thanks for joining us, Graham. Appreciate it. Graham Lloyd there, reading stuff in The Australian. He's all over this stuff. China just doubling down on coal, and we're pretending we're going to save the world here by putting in 10,000 kilometres of transmission lines.